The Curse of Bathsheba. Based on real events. They arrived at the house at 5 in the evening. It was cold, though the sun still hung above the forests of Rhode Island. Roger Perron stepped out first, then his wife Carolyn and their 5 daughters. The girls ran through the yard, laughing, unaware that laughter wouldn't last long here. The house was old, from the 18th century. Large rooms, wooden floors, dark corners. History, they said. But the real story ran deeper. Hidden under the floorboards. In the soil. In the walls. On the first night, the basement door opened on its own. Roger thought, just a draft. He closed it. Locked it. But by morning, it was open again. Carolyn started waking up with bruises. Each time in a different spot, on her thigh, her wrist, her neck. She didn't remember a thing. A week later, they heard the first whisper. It came from the dark corners and always sounded mournful. Like someone crying and calling out a name. Bathsheba, Carolyn heard one night. Bathsheba. Then the girls said they saw a woman in the mirror, with dead eyes. She stood at the far end of the room and whispered in a language no one understood. During the day, everything vanished. But at night, doors creaked open on their own, objects disappeared, and worst of all, they felt that someone was watching. Carolyn grew silent. She stopped eating. Stopped talking. She sat by the window for hours and whispered. She wants us to leave. She hates me. Roger brought in a priest. The man didn't even take 10 steps inside before screaming in pain. A burn had suddenly appeared on his palm. As if something hot had grabbed his hand. Roger started digging for information. In a local archive, he found a name, Bathsheba Sherman. She owned the house in the 1800s. Accused of sacrificing infants, though never convicted. Locals claimed she swore herself to Satan, and before dying, cursed anyone who would live on that land. Carolyn began speaking in a voice that wasn't hers. Dark. Raspy. One night, during a seizure, she rose from bed and screamed. "This is my house. Get out. Leave, or I'll take your children." Roger called in demonologists Ed and Lorraine Warren. Lorraine felt her immediately, Bathsheba. She said, "She's not a ghost. She's a demon. And she doesn't want to leave. She feeds on fear." That night, Carolyn vanished. The family searched for hours. They found her in the attic, covered in dirt, wearing an old dress no one had seen before. She sat by an ancient cradle, singing a lullaby. Her eyes empty. She didn't recognize her family. The Warrens performed a cleansing. Not an exorcism, Carolyn was still alive. She couldn't be cast out. During the ritual, the lights went out, the walls cracked, and the air turned rancid, like rotting flesh. She screamed. Her voice was not human. After that night, Bathsheba grew quiet. But the family never stayed alone in the house again. Because she wasn't banished, only asleep. And to this day, no one has lived there for longer than a few months.